Another thing you can do to speed up your website is reduce your HTTP request. Every time someone visits a page on your website, their browser pings your web server and requests the files that contain the content of the page. These files might include things such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, icons, and so on and so on. The request is called a HTTP request. HTTP, as we already know, stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol and is basically the name for a browser sending a request to the file and then the server sending that file to the browser. When the server receives an HTTP request from a user's browser, your server responds by sending the required files. The user's browser then renders the page. So why is it important to keep track of all your HTTP requests? As you can see from the image on the right, every time someone visits your website, their browser needs to make a separate HTTP request for every single file that needs to be rendered for the page they're visiting. If you have a minimalist site that doesn't have that many files, it won't take long to request and download your files. But this isn't the case for most websites, particularly the ones with lots of images, animations, and other dynamic content. By reducing the number of elements in your site's pages, you can minimize the number of HTTP requests that are required to render a web page. This in turn will help speed up the load times for your website. But first you need to know how many HTTP requests your website is making. So let's head over to our browser now and I'll show you exactly how you can do this. So I'm now over on our homepage for ClickSlice, and what we're going to do is check how many requests ClickSlice's homepage has. So to do this, you need to be using Google Chrome. As you can see, I'm using Google Chrome. So you simply want to right click anywhere on the page and then click Inspect. This will open Chrome Developer Tools, which essentially provides you tons of information such as your network, including how many HTTP requests your website is making. So once you click Inspect, it should open a box like this. Your box might be on the right hand side of the screen down here. It might look like this. If it does, I recommend you actually dock it to the bottom, which is very easy to do. You just come up to here and click the three icons and then click dock to bottom. This will now move the whole thing down here. So once you have this open, you want to go over and click Network. And then you want to refresh your home page or whatever page you're on your website. And as you can see, this is now bringing through all these requests, which is happening in the background. So there is currently 77 requests from ClickSlice's homepage, which is a lot. Whilst on this page, we can also get a bit more information as well, such as the size of each request, such as how long it takes for each request to come through. And we also have a waterfall, which is essentially just a visual representation showing you how long it takes for each request to come through. But essentially, the number you want to pay attention to is going to be the number down here, which has just gone up one more to 78. This number is actually a little bit higher. I'm actually using lazy image load. So as I scroll down the page, images are going to load. And as you can see, this number is going up, 81. There's two more images down here, I believe. We've got one here and one here. As you can see, it's now gone up to 83. So if I wasn't using lazy image load, the number of requests on the load of the actual page would actually be a lot higher. So it's a good idea to go through all of your requests and just see if you actually need them on your page. For example, if I go to the top of ClickSlice's page, you can see we've got these requests right here, which says Humac Direct, Inner Space Lofts, which is essentially just logos we have on our homepage. Here's Inner Space Lofts and here's Humac. So what I could do is actually remove some of these logos, thus reducing the amount of requests my website has to make, thus making it load faster. However, do obviously bear in mind, don't just start removing everything from your site. For example, for me, we have these logos here for a reason, as it helps provide more social proof. You can also use a tool such as GT Metrics. So GT Metrics is a tool I showed you earlier on in this section of the course in the video titled How to Test Your Website's Page Speed. So within GT Metrics, once you plug in your URL and then run a test, it actually gives you a grade for tons of different things on your website. So for me, I have a grade F and it's to do with JavaScript. So if I click into that, I can see all of the HTTP requests which my website is making in regards to JavaScript. I can then go through the list and remove all the ones which aren't necessary, which are slowing down my website. However, do be careful, as a lot of the things here will actually be relevant to your website and you will need to have them. So for me, I've got some Google Reviews plugin which I'm using. I do want my reviews on the home page. However, if I want a faster site, then I simply need to remove that or optimize that by using a better plugin. There's also a few other things you can do, such as minify JavaScript, which I'm going to show you how to do in the next video.